Alright folks, firmware 1.98 for the Weebill S has only been out for a couple of days and the questions are already rolling in. Should you upgrade or should you not? I've been looking at it to see what is the difference and what you will get if you upgrade to the new firmware 1.98. Right here we got two Weebill S, one with 1.98 and one with 1.96. So let's see what you get. Here we go. Firmware 1.98 for the Weebill S, let's talk about it. There are three main points in this firmware we are going to go over. Alright, the first one is, let me just read it here. Added tripod mode for improved stability of static time-lapse. And what is static time-lapse? Static time-lapse is when you are putting your camera on a tripod and doing a time-lapse static. The camera is not moving. So when they say added tripod mode and for improved stability, I would have expected some kind of tripod mode in the gimbal that would make the gimbal just much more stiff and smooth for doing time-lapse. I know this from the DJI drones. If you use tripod mode there, the gimbal and the drone will be much smoother, much stiffer. Everything will go much slower. But I have looked everywhere in the gimbal, in the app, and there are nowhere where I can find any added tripod mode for time-lapse. So if you sit out there and you know how to do it or what it is and where it is in the new firmware, please tell me in the comments because I love to know. So the next thing is the improved algorithm. What is the algorithm of the gimbal? That is how the gimbal is working when you're controlling the gimbal. And with 1.96 it just works fine, and I think that it works just the same. I can't see any really big improvements, but there might be some small tweaks in the software that they have done. So the last point is the other improved details and better performance. So what is better performance? I think better performance is like we got on the previous version 1.97, where they have stiffened the motors. That is still the same. The motors are much stronger on this one. So if you auto-tune it without some kind of lens support, there are vibrations on the tilt motors. So you have to lower the settings, your custom settings, until you don't feel any vibrations in the gimbal of whatsoever. But the funny thing is, if you add a follow focus or lens support and you auto-tune it, there are no vibrations of whatsoever. None of the motors, and the settings are actually pretty high. Let me look right here. Yeah, so the tilt motor is at 51, the roll is 48, and the pan is 66. That is the auto-tune settings that comes out of the Weebill S when I auto-tuned it with the lens support or the follow focus on. If I remove the follow focus, I will get vibrations on this motor right here. I wish you could feel this, but there are no vibrations. But try it out on your own gimbal. Alright, so you're sitting there and you're thinking, hey Pete, should I upgrade or should I not? You didn't give me a verdict. No, I did not give you any verdict if you should upgrade or not. Let's just rewind a bit to firmware 1.95, where we had the issue where the gimbal was not returning to center when you went from sling mode to upright mode. That was fixed in firmware 1.96, which I think is the best firmware we have had yet. A lot of issues were fixed in that, it just works perfectly. Then right after that come firmware 1.97, where they strengthened the motors. That much that you need to use the lens support if you don't want vibrations on the tilt motors. Then they came out with 1.98. Not that much have been improved. I don't see the big difference between 1.97 and 1.98. They kind of work the same. So for myself, I will go back to 1.96 because there I don't have to use the lens support. I can use a big and heavy lens like this one. I can auto-tune it and there are no vibrations at all. I don't see the gimbal being more fluid or anything when I use 1.98 than using 1.96. So if you like to use run and gun style where you are going from handheld to gimbal and need to change fast, I would go with 1.96 because you can auto tune your gimbal without any problems. You can have it on a quick release plate like I have right here. Then you can just take your camera off so you are ready to shoot. So that is Weebill S Firmware 1.98. If you want to see my other firmware videos, I will link them in the description. If you want my custom settings, there's a download link and you can go and grab those. And lastly, I just want to talk briefly about the Gimbal Academy that is coming up. It is coming together, so if you want to learn how to master your gimbal and become a gimbal pro, you can sign up for the wait list. There is a link down in the description. Go down there, sign up, and you will get early access at a discounted price. Alright, that is it. If you want to see more Weebill S videos, I will link some of them down here so you can go back and watch them. There's a lot of great tips in there. That is it, guys. I don't have any more for you. If you got any questions at all, just drop them down below and I will answer as good as I can. So the last thing I want to ask you is if you want to see a video where I compare the 1.98 with the 1.96 head to head, where we do some push-in shots, some gliding shots, some pan shots, so we can see if there is an improvement in stability from 1.98 to 1.96. Just drop a comment down below if you want to see that, and I will make that video as soon as I can. That is it, guys. I don't have any more for you. Stay safe and stay creative. I do that differently, yeah, I don't think so. So let's try again. What I wanted to say is stay creative and stay safe, and if you can, go out and shoot some dope videos. See you next time. Bye. Oh yeah, one more thing. If this is the first time you're here, remember to subscribe. It is highly appreciated. See ya.